Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to install Flutter on Windows environment. So just give you a basic info about what is Flutter. So Flutter is basically an open source UI software development kit created by Google. So it allows us to create multiple apps, like multi-environment apps from single code source code base, which means like you need to write source code for only one time, and it will be automatically created for Android and iOS and other platform. So in order to install, we need to install following software like Flutter SDK, then a Git for Windows, Android Studio, and Visual Studio build tool 2022. So these are the system requirement that you can see. So let's start with downloading the software. So first I will download the Git 64-bit Windows setup. So this download is in progress, so it's almost done. Yeah, so the second software we need to install, it's Android Studio. So sometime. And the third software that we need to install is basically the build tools for Visual Studio. All software list is defined on this get a started install Windows setup page from Flutter website. So let's install this software this way. So Git is already downloaded. So let me install the Git. It's straightforward. Just select next, 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 and done. So Git is installed successfully. So next step, we will create a source folder in C drive. This is my C drive. I will create a source folder. SRC. So let me clone this repo. So I will go to C drive after installing the Git, and when you click the right click, you will see the Git bash option. Select that and paste the command that you copied from the website. It will start cloning the Flutter SDK repository. Okay, so the cloning is done. So, and the next step, basically what we need to do, we need to add the Flutter SDK path in our environment variable. So in order to do that, what we need to do, we need to go to Flutter, copy this path, and then go to my computer, right click, properties, in our setting, environment variable. Then we will see this path variable, double click it and paste it at here. I think I have already pasted. So in order to validate, we can type the Flutter command in our command prompt, and then to do that we need to version. So it will give us a version, and as you can see, I'm in my user directory, but command prompt is still detecting the Flutter. So it's mean my Flutter bin path is in environment variable. So is to basically execute Flutter doctor command. Flutter doctor command basically checks all the dependencies that we need. Really at this stage, it's going to show us some error, which means, because as we already know, we haven't installed Android Studio yet and the Visual Studio tools. So you see, no Java development kit found, Visual Studio not installed, and Android Studio another step. So from this step, you will try to install Android Studio and then Visual Studio build cool. And after once those get installed, we will again run the Flutter Doctor command to check if it gives us a success or not. So let's install Android Studio. Android Studio is going to take some time. So while recording the video, I will move forward the video. So it's simple and easy. Just select next step. So Android Studio is installed. So we also need to create basically a virtual device manager. So in my case, this pixel was already created because I have created it one time. So what I'm going to do, I will delete it and recreate it. So it will give you guys an idea how to create it. So let's create a device. I'll select Pixel 4. Next, I will select this SDK. So remember, when you guys are going to do it first time, so you might need to see this, drop down icon after head of this R character. So just first click this download icon if you see it here. Once it's downloaded, and then select next, give a name of your virtual device and finish. So basically, virtual device is basically a kind of virtual, can say Android phone. And whenever you run, your source code is going to be executed on this virtual device. So we have already added virtual device, and there is one thing that we need to do in SDK manager. Go to SDK manager, SDK tool. Yeah. So you need to make sure this, this Android SDK command line tools is checked. If it's not checked, click the check button and apply the changes. Then so if you don't, whenever you are going to run the Flutter Doctor command from the command line tool from CMD, you will see an error regarding this like Android SDK command line tools are not installed. So make sure you do it. So the next step is to download the Visual Studio. We have already downloaded Visual Studio build tool. So let's install it. I will select only desktop development option and then click install, and it will install the build tools. As per Flutter documentation, we are required to install either Visual Studio 22 or build tools Visual Studio 22 in order to make Flutter work correctly on your Windows environment. So once that done, then we will execute the Flutter Doctor command. And remember, when we executed Flutter version command, here is the output. So I will close this one. So I'm executing it again just to check is it detecting the Android Studio or not. So you can see after installing the Visual Studio on at this step we didn't install the Visual Studio, so we will get in the error for Java Development Kit, Visual Studio not installed, and but after installing the Visual Studio, our error reduced to 1, and the only error we are getting in Visual Studio installation is incomplete. And because we are getting this error, our installation is in progress. I think once that done, and we will execute the flutter docker command. Hopefully, we are going to see there will be no error. So let's wait for this to be installed successfully. Yeah, so as you can see, installation is done. So next step is we need to accept we need to accept Android licenses for Flutter. So let's do that. And in my case, it didn't prompt me for the licenses because most of the licenses are already accepted when I was installing it for first time. So in your case, you will be prompted for I think 3 to 4 times, uh, and you need to press Y. Yes, you need to accept it, and that's done. And so next step is to check check the status of Flutter installation by running flutter.com. Yeah, and everything is fine. So that's it for regarding how to install the Flutter.